What's going on, Saints? This is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Friend request, subscribe. Let's speak boxing. What are we going to talk about? We're talking about the Manny Pacquiao fight. I just got done watching the fight about an hour ago. What do you mean I just got done watching the fight an hour ago? There's light outside. Yes, I'm actually in Europe, which is 9 hours from Vegas time, which is 6 hours away from Eastern Standard Time. So, when the fight was happening in Vegas, I was sleeping. So I woke up, caught the fight. I seen the fight. Now I'm giving my feedback and thoughts on the fight. But let's go ahead and take a shot of Jameson right quick in tribute to the Pac-Man victory as predicted. Anyways, Manny Pacquiao defeats Jessie Vargas, and he regained the WBO title in the welterweight division. Now, on ringside, Floyd Mayweather Jr. wasn't ringside, but I'm going to go ahead and touch bases on that soon. There's a lot of talks about Floyd Mayweather Jr., Crawford possibly moving up and fighting Pacquiao, and Mayweather giving him a rematch. But I'll touch bases on that in a little bit. But let's go ahead and speak some boxing about this fight. Now everyone knows Jessie came to the fight, the bigger, the heavier, the younger fighter, and he had a nice reach advantage, which he didn't use effectively whatsoever in the fight. He was on the defense the whole entire fight, like kind of just waiting to counter, which I don't blame, based on the losses and the frustrations in Pacquiao's resume. Fighters that gave him problem was more on the defense, more on the back foot, fighting back. But anyways, Jessie did what he had to do to survive the fight. Starting off the fight with a game plan. I liked his game plan at the very beginning. He was smart, keeping his distance, feeling out the fighter, feeling out Manny, not really knowing how explosive, how quick he is. He was definitely just keeping the distance. But as the fight progressed, he should have adapted and changed his game plan. That's what fighters do. You have not just one, two. You have to have more than two game plans coming into the fight and do what you do best. Obviously, Vargas touched the canvas in the second round. After Manny is southpaw and things like that, their feet cross. Matter of fact, their feet, they tend to step on each other's feet. But Manny Pacquiao was able to land a clean shot. In doing so, while that was happening, Jessie Vargas lost his balance and touched the canvas, whatever it is. But he got a clean shot. Vargas did catch Manny a few times and had some success in the seventh round. So I did get the seventh round. I believe it was seventh. Yeah, I gave the seventh round to Jessie. But other than that, besides the seventh, he was playing it safe the whole entire fight. Now, a lot of fans, casual boxing fans, are already saying that there was nothing special about the fight, and it was the same old Manny. Like he wasn't impressive or something. Styles make fights. They were more impressed with Vargas's performance, and they seen it as a great addition, an add-on to his resume. What kind of shit is that? Yeah, it's a good if you didn't lose, if you came out and you beat Manny Pacquiao, that's a good advantage to you. I mean, it looks good on your resume, but your first title defense. Not sure if I was so impressed by, being on the defense the whole entire time. You're not pressing. You're the younger fighter, the bigger fighter with the more reach. You weren't pressing the fight. You're defending the title. You're fighting a legend like Manny Pacquiao and like Tyson. I would have been on Tyson status, man. You got to go balls out, all or nothing. Whatever it takes. I would have respected that a little bit more. Yeah, in the earlier stage of the fight, yes, I understand that you're being on the defense. Coming into the seventh round, you started picking it up. You actually won that round in the seventh. You should have came out in the eighth round and just turned it up, man. You're losing the fight unless your corner was telling you otherwise. And I know towards the end of the fight, you had your hands up and shit like that, thinking that you were going to win the fight, which I have no idea who told you that. Look, styles make fights, and it's obvious by seeing Vargas. He was using the Marquez bait counter tactic. Vargas was slowly pacing back, trying to catch Manny leaning as he was attacking, so he can blast him with the short, compact counter. But it didn't happen. I seen the jab cross. You were doing that effectively sometimes, but it wasn't too much of it. There wasn't too much head movement. There was too much angles. Manny had to press the action. At the end of the day, Vargas, you're not Marquez. Vargas, your style has nothing similar to Mayweather. it's good that fighters have a game plan and a strategy, and but don't change your style, you know, and do what best works for you. You're the title holder. You're the champ. You know, um, it's okay, trying something different the first 3 to 4 rounds, but man, switch it up, bro. Switch it up. Next thing I want to talk about Dave Moretti. What the fuck was that about? Dave Moretti scored the fight 113 to 114. Like, what the hell is that about? That shit is crazy. Manny Pacquiao won every single round. I might have gave Vargas 2 rounds, but other than that, he wasn't defending the belt like a champ. I think he was just trying to survive so he can sit there and say, well, Miguel Cotto got his ass kicked. Margarito got his ass kicked. Claudia got his ass kicked. Sugar Shane Mosley got his ass kicked. Hatton got his ass kicked. But me, I didn't get my ass kicked. Rios got his ass kicked. But I survived all 12 rounds. Come on, man. You can't do that. You're the champ. And it's two different eras of boxing. Pacquiao's like 37 years old, and already over you have that youth to your advantage. You have the power. You have the reach, man. You definitely have to use it to your advantage. Now, a lot of boxing fans out there are talking about the possible Mayweather rematch. Now, I would love to see that fight, Mayweather versus Pacquiao too. That is a good fight to see. I would love to see the rematch. Why? Because both fighters are on that caliber. They're both 5'2" fighters, and they know how to adapt. And it could be a boring fight to a lot of people, but I think Pacquiao will do things differently in this fight. But Mayweather is just too smart, But stylistically, that'll be a good fight. That'll definitely be a good fight. Now, as far as speaking about Crawford, I want to talk about Crawford. Crawford's a whole generation, different generation. Crawford's not even in the welterweight division. He's not in the welterweight division. So I don't even want to talk about Crawford. I would like to see Crawford fight Adrian Broner. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Fight someone credible at 140. Do something like that. Now, like I said, I would love to see Crawford fight, Adrian Broner, or Crawford come up to welterweight and fight some other champ, but not a Manny Pacquiao. I don't want to waste another. And even if Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao, there's going to be so many excuses. Manny Pacquiao's over the hill. Manny Pacquiao this. Manny Pacquiao this. I honestly think Pacquiao beat Crawford. I honestly think Pacquiao will beat Crawford. Now, if Crawford waits, 2 or 3 years, get a couple fights underneath his belt, yeah, Crawford's going to win that fight. But right now they fight, I think Pacquiao will beat Crawford. Hands down. I think so. Now, as far as I'm hearing people, Lemoncheco fight Manny Pacquiao, come on, man. That shit ain't going to happen. Come on. Why even, these are like dream fights. Why even talking about a fight like that? Lemoncheco's not even close in the division. People were talking about Manny Pacquiao coming down to 130. Why does Manny Pacquiao got to come down? This man's almost 40 years old. He's the legend. He's the champ. You got to come up to me if you want to fight me. And at the end of the day, yes, he weighs 144. He doesn't even come in at 147, 148. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work that way. If Crawford wants to fight Pacquiao, Crawford, come your ass up to 147, the welterweight, and go ahead and fight him. It's not like you don't weigh 150 anyway when you step into the ring. It's a rarity that fighters come into the ring the same weight that they walk around in, or the weigh-in. They don't gain too much weight. There's only certain fighters, and Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. is one of them. Guys like Crawford, they'll jump up to 150 and stuff like that. So you can make the weight. Just come up, make the weight, welterweight, make the fight happen. If you're gonna fight it now. But like I said, who do I see being his next opponent? Danny Garcia. He definitely. Danny Garcia is fighting Vargas, not Jessie Vargas, but he's fighting in the next I think 2 weeks or something like that. You have Kell Brook. Kell Brook wants to possibly fight Amir Khan, or he wants to step into the ring against, I don't know, a Thurman possibly. You have Thurman wanting to fight Danny Garcia. So you have Thurman, you got Brook. I see Manny Pacquiao beating Garcia. I see Manny Pacquiao beating Thurman. I see Manny Pacquiao. The only being Sean Porter. I see Manny Pacquiao beating all these fighters. Andre Berto. I see Manny Pacquiao beating Amir Khan if Amir Khan once steps in the ring. He's going to beat all these fighters. The only two fighters that I would question, just because stylistically, would be like Earl Spence. Earl Spence would definitely give Manny Pacquiao some problems. The next one, Kell Brook. Kell Brook stylistically will give Manny Pacquiao some problems. But it really depends, it depends on their chin, because they are going to get touched by Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao is going to touch him. And usually once you get rocked and you feel it, then you kind of you kind of it depends on how you take the punch. You know what I'm saying? So Earl Spence could have the confidence. Earl Spence does have a lot of boxing ability, but once he gets touched and he sees that speed from Manny Pacquiao, who knows? You know, that's a true test for Earl Spence. But other than that, if it's not Earl Spence, if it's not Kell Brook, Manny Pacquiao's wiping the welterweight division. I'm not even gonna talk about Mayweather because Mayweather's not even officially unretired yet. I'm not going to talk about Crawford because Crawford's not even in the welterweight division. I'm not going to talk about Lomachenko because Lomachenko. I'm not going to talk about Mikey Garcia because they're not in the welterweight division. You know, I don't like talking about like people in other divisions, people that are retired, shit like that. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the people that are actually in the division. Who can Manny Pacquiao fight in the division? And then you got PBC fighters, you got top ranked fighters, you got Golden Boy fighters and shit like that. So you got different promotions. So there's so many different variables to take under consideration when you're making these matchups. But anyways, guys, this is Kenneth, SBM Boxing. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy Paris. It's Sunday. It's not that bad. I think towards the evening, like yesterday and the day before, it starts raining and shit like that. So just get out, walk around.